Again takes me to the next point. Advocate Harsh Daya, I want you to respond to this. Now, for example, the one of the arguments that comes in from these AI makers, for example, ChatGPT, OpenAI, is that, well, when we put out a content, we also give you the link to the website, a citation which tells you the original author. So basically, we are attributing it. Now, when it comes to monetization, ad monetization, a person, for example, let me talk about my own field. A reporter that works hard on the ground, gets you data, collects information, that gets translated into a article that's published online by the maker who pays the salary to the reporter. None of them are getting anything out of it. The fact that ChatGPT is giving you a small citation, nobody is going to visit that website because the information is already there in your chat box on AI. So again, the initiative has to come in from these platforms, AI developers, wherein they ensure that the original authors are not just given credit for the work, but also are monetarily also somehow compensated.
Ashish, definitely that is the tricky part that I was talking about. When we say that, OpenAI or these generative AIs are working for the larger public good, like we saw in the Google landmark judgment as well, wherein it was ruled in favor of Google because it was working for the greater public good. And similar way, the AIs can be seen doing that. There is no question, there is no doubt about that AI is going to benefit humanity greatly. But at the same time, if platforms like OpenAI are benefiting from the content generated by other sources, then definitely a royalty system needs to come into play. That's where I believe that royalty and licensing would be a great problem solver for this bigger issue. And there is a larger question that I was thinking about. It is an interesting debate that is going on, and it made me think about a paradox called ship of thesis. Like Khushbuji was saying that if content is regenerated several times, then how do we know where the original source of the content was and who owns the copyright of that? So this is very similar to the
Absolutely.
ship of thesis paradox, wherein the all parts of the ships have been replaced. So now the paradox is whether it is the old ship or is it a completely new ship. So similar things would happen with the AI as well. As the content is regenerated, like let's talk about some art form. Let's say there's some art form that generated in India, but OpenAI trained on it, and it took art forms from different parts of the world and generated a new art form altogether. So does that old art form correlate to these older art forms as well, and the copyright goes to the original artist who generated those art forms or not? And similar way with the music as well, and with the news content as well. So if the content is regenerated, then the copyright system becomes very complex, and that's where the blockchain, as rightly pointed out by Khushbu Jain ji, blockchains comes into action, and that's
Absolutely,
where
Mr.
we can
Harsh Daya, you're
attribute.
making a very interesting point, and the fact that you spoke about that paradox, I think we can relate it very close home. Instead of talking about ship, let's talk about Hindi filmmakers. A lot of them have made a career out of actually making stuff that is inspired by a lot of other work as well. So I think it hits closer home as well. But again, it's a much larger debate, and like all the panelists here are saying, it's something that's going to be landmark, not just in the Indian context, but globally as well, because it's a raging debate. Creators versus AI and the whole copyright infringement battle. Mr. Pawan Dugal, Khushbu Jain, and Advocate Harsh Daya, really appreciate you joining us on the broadcast here with your insights on this.